Well, before we continue our discussion, why don't we show the clip that we have of our coverage of that domestic violence rally over at Battery Park, and we'll get to that right now.
Logistical question I want to ask. I've noticed that some people talk about domestic violence, and I was told about this as a DV rally, and then I've also heard that I also see family violence issues. Is the difference domestic is considered partner or spouse, and family?
Well, you can interpret it both ways, but yes, domestic violence usually is interpreted as an intimate partner abuse, whereas family violence takes in a larger group of people than only intimate partners. But you know what? Sometimes it goes back and forth.
Because family abuse,
we confuse everybody, and we sometimes confuse ourselves.
I guess to be all inclusive, you have to say domestic and family abuse. That would be it.
No, use one or the other.
One or the other. Okay. Yeah. So it's just a logistical thing.
Yeah, that's right. We use family violence because it seemed to be more inclusive. Because we're talking about like children who have witnessed abuse and teen abuse. So we
small kids get abused a lot. That's great.
Would you like any of our materials?
Sure.
This gives just sort of like a summary of it. And then we have our employment readiness program here. And our teen abuse program, which are not, well, yeah, the employment readiness is on here.
That's great. One thing I must say I really like about yourself is all very gender neutral, which is good, like just your materials, which is great.
Yes, we have a number of same-sex abuse too. Although we do a lot of work with the Anti-Violence Project because they specialize in that. So it depends on the individual person where they're comfortable.
Right. Well, whoever comes to you, that's who you help. Yeah. But no, we're a little bit frustrated with some of the city's promotional campaigns because we think they're fairly biased against men. Like posters like this that say, "Is it fair if your neighbor beats his wife?"
Well, the problem is, or the statistics are that such a vast majority of people who are abused are women who are abused by men. And while there are men who are abused and there also are same-sex abuse, the vast majority are women. And so that's why, since there hasn't, that's why it's very long, because it will at least capture the larger group of people.
What are the statistics? What's men to women? Do you know?
Probably about 1 to 2%. Men to women.
Yeah.
It goes. Some statistics are as low as 85%, but most of them are between 90 and 95%. That it's men who abuse women.
And what do we consider abuse? What do we consider abuse?
Okay, power and control. And I think they even have a power and control wheel, which can give you more of it. It's not two people having a fight, not two people arguing. It's one person exercising the power and control.
So it doesn't have to be physical.
It doesn't have to be physical. Because you can intimidate somebody. We've had instances where an abuser killed a cat or a dog and said that's what's going to happen to you. Now, touched her at all.
Yeah.
He hasn't touched her at all.
Terrible.
But she's terrified.
Yeah.
She's traumatized, terrified.
Yeah.
She knows
That's intimidation.
That's intimidation. And so that's one way of doing it. Of course, there are myriad of ways, unfortunately.
Our group is with the men's group of the National Coalition of Free Men, and we obviously support an end to domestic family violence, and we want to call that, of all sorts. And we think that the commonly understood statistics about the number of men who are killed or injured is inaccurate. So we're in the process of talking, dealing with the city.
They're from the Department of Justice.
We think the system is flawed.
How can they do that?
Well, because you have a justice system that's unfairly.
They're unfairly biased against women. Talk about our alternatives to incarceration program for abused women, and you'll see the justice system is very unfair.
Give me a quick summary.
Well, there are two rules that work against women. One is called, like if you have the right to defend yourself in your own home, but you have to be able to document that you are in fear. And for battered women, many of them are in fear all the time, and it's not only in the time that the person is abusive. And so that works against women if it doesn't happen immediately after. It's the whole burning bed kind of problem that the person said, when I wake up, I'm going to kill you. And then she does that. So she's not is she in imminent danger in the middle of the night when he said, when I wake up, I'm going to kill you. And that very often works against women because they say, well, see, she could have left. Well, she knows that it's too dangerous. So it's imminent danger. And then the other one is the fact that men and women's physical force gets used as the same, gets considered the same. And so if a man beats her up with his fist and she I've had women arrested because she tried to call 911. He pulled the telephone out of the wall so she couldn't call it. She took the telephone and threw it at him. So she used a weapon, so she's more guilty. And so that gets used against her, even though he was the one who started it. He was the one who injured her physically. But very often those physical ones don't show up, or they don't show up for another day or two.
Well, I would say that verbal abuse is 50-50.
Yeah.
And if a man's getting verbally abused, or the woman starts physically abusing the man, what should he do? What should he do about that? There's no services for him.
Obviously. Well, yeah. I'm curious what you think about, just one more question. One thing that's happened to a lot of guys in our organization is this happens usually during a divorce case. Women were falsely accused of abandonment and violence in order to get custody of the children. Are you aware of that?
I have not seen that. I have seen more of the opposite.
Just so you know, I'm in a men's group, so I'm dealing with a lot of that a lot of times. A lot of men's lives have been ruined by false claims of domestic abuse. But anyway, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Nice talking to you. You're doing good work. Welcome back. Well, we had fun doing that. I think that was something we really needed to do. I mean, we were really the only ones there with signs showing that men are victims too. What were the signs that we had there?
We had 4 signs. One said men don't report.
Right.
Another said
Abuse is 50-50.
right.
Don't demonize men.
Don't demonize men. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's, and again, I think of all the signs, that was, I think, the biggest one, because that's what's really happening, and that cuts across all the issues, cuts across every issue of the spectrum.